back with another installment of Grindhouse Purgatory, or whatever I'm calling myself these days. I had a request, I think the guy's name was it Nick Hughes? It might have been Nick Hughes that asked me about how I felt about, AEW and wrestling's like big resurgence right now. Actually, I was on the fence when this thing first started. I didn't know how they would compete with Vince. Not that Vince is all that, which he isn't. Luckily, before AEW, or in the time of AEW getting started, Ring of Honor was still around doing TV. Major League Wrestling is still doing TV. Impact Wrestling is still doing TV, and the National Wrestling Alliance under Billy Corrigan was still doing TV. So the thing is, I didn't realize how smart Tony Khan was, because he cut deals with New Japan, AAA, and all these indie promotions to, exchange talent with these guys. And I know, Dean Ambrose, Jon Moxley came over from the WWE. I had caught Moxley as he was coming into the Jersey Independents early on, when he came into Combat Zone Wrestling with Sami Callihan and Joe Chainsaw Gacy. Him and Callahan, it might have been Gacy too, had this thing called the Switchblade Conspiracy. Moxley wasn't a bulked up guy like he is now. I only saw a few of his matches in CZW because I was transitioning out of the area. I saw him in the Tournament of Death, where Brain Damage basically took a fucking sawzall to his forehead and started cutting away. And before he was picked up by the WWE, he was starting a program with Homicide on the Indies, which I believe the one show was at Ace in Union City under Mike Morgan. That's where it started. And it was going to go into Jersey All Pro. It might have. I didn't see that show. But then he got picked up and became Dean Ambrose. Tough guy. I was really glad that they got him in there. Also, from other guys from the Jersey Independents were Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss. And I'm looking at this whole thing, and they brought in a guy who I never thought we'd see on TV, in Eddie Kingston. Now, I had run into Kingston a lot during my East Coast days, because he was on a lot of cards that, I was helping out with. And I know that he basically, there was something going on with him. He was trained in Chikara, which is a Pennsylvania federation run by Mike Quackenbush. And he was part of a tag team. I fucking can't remember the name of it. He was with somebody named Blackjack Marciano, and supposedly Blackjack Marciano got seriously injured to the point where he couldn't work anymore, supposedly by Chris Hero. So what was going on then was that Eddie was in a big feud with Chris Hero all up and down the East Coast. Now, I know Eddie did a shoot interview that didn't do him any fucking good and pissed off a lot of people, and they figured that was going to be his segue out of the business, but it wasn't, thank God. I was working security for another indie promotion, and the main event was supposed to be Sabu against Mana the Polynesian Warrior. Well, Eddie Kingston had just showed up, as a lot of other indie guys showed up. They weren't booked on the card. And to show how badly they wanted to get booked on the card, there was one guy that came in and they said, we really can't use it. I'll tell you what, we'll give you $20. We'll put you in $20. We'll put you in a scramble match. They put him in a scramble match. The $20 was his payoff. But Eddie was hanging around there, and we got the word that Sabu had missed his plane. So he was going to take the next flight out, but it was sort of like, we have to play this out. We have to, basically, for lack of better words, stall for time. So Chris Hero got in the ring and cut a promo, and all of a sudden you heard Eddie Kingston's voice go, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, homeboy, you're not going to do anything in the York area without me knowing about it." So there was a brawl. In the ring, out of the ring, up the aisles, into the crowd. This went on for a good, 20 minutes or so, and ate up enough time that basically I was told to, stay where I am, Sabu was on his way. But in the interim, because the booker, Doug Gentry, thought that Sabu might not make it anyway, he called up Tommy Dreamer, who was local, and Dreamer came in and did the angle with Mana, basically doing all his spots and stuff like that. Well, again, I was told to hold the position because Sabu was on the way in a cab, changing in the cab. Sabu came in, went after, basically they had a thing where basically the Tomaselli brothers were in the ring with Harry Smith, a.k.a. Davey Boy Smith Jr., and started to beat the shit out of him. Then Sabu's music hit. He runs in, clears house. Mana's in the balcony, throws a chair at him, then it's on. So basically it was follow Sabu and Mana around the auditorium till they beat the crap out of each other. Sabu got all his spots in and things. So it was cool. So it showed what kind of a guy Kingston was, that Johnny on the spot, they could keep something going for like 20 or so minutes. And I was sitting in the back with Doug, and Doug had plans for Kingston. It's a shame that Doug Gentry had passed away at 33 years old from endocarditis, because he had a great mind for the business and probably would have worked for McMahon or somebody else, maybe probably AEW at this point if he had lived, as a booker. So I sat there and he was explaining to Eddie Kingston about how he wanted him to do certain things, but then he goes, I need you to go through this guy and this guy to get to that guy. So he laid out a whole program for him that sadly never materialized because he passed away. So Eddie was bouncing around, he still did Combat Zone, did stuff with Jersey All Pro, teamed with Homicide, was part of the Blackout in the Combat Zone with the Joker, Sabian, and a bunch of other people. And he was up here in Cleveland working with absolutely intense wrestling. And he was on a card where basically he was wrestling Josh Prohibition with the manager, the Duke, and Terry Funk was in the crowd and came through the crowd and basically beat the shit out of the Duke, beat the shit out of Eddie, and sent the fans home happy. When I saw Eddie come out on AEW, I popped big time because I figured, here's a guy, he looks like us. He doesn't have that bulk. He looks like us. He's one of, beer drinker, pot smoker, whatever. He looks like us. And putting him with Moxley, who he knew from CZW, stroke of genius. And also, it's like I bounced around a lot, like for 10 years, with the indies down there, shooting video for them, working RF Video's table, working security here and there. I shot a match actually with Kingston in it because there was some kind of political upheaval with one. First off, I was working for WSU, Women's Superstars Uncensored, and we had a match on this card in Garfield, I believe it was. And it was, I believe her name's Velvet Sky now, against Alicia, and they wanted me to film it, so I filmed it. So what I didn't know, it was a political situation because RF Video was in charge of filming it, and Samoa Joe was supposed to be in the main event but couldn't make it, so they substituted Low-Ki. Now, Low-Ki had an issue with RF Video because when RF Video owned Ring of Honor, Rob fired him because he legitimately knocked out Dan Moff in the ring, and when Doug Gentry ran in to check on Moff, he hit Doug, so Rob fired him. So basically, and unprofessionally, Low-Ki said he wouldn't do the main event if RF Video was filming it. So they walk up to me and hand me the camera going, we know you can do this. And I said, no, I can do what? He fucking saw me sitting with you guys. He's going to know what's up. So I said, what are you going to do with the hard camera? They said, they're going to bring it in the balcony. I said, this is what I'm going to do. If it's going to be a four-way, it's going to be Necro Butcher, Eddie Kingston, Low-Ki, and Danny D'Amato. I said, if he's in the ring with somebody, because I know it's going to spill out, I'll go with the guys that spilled out of the ring. If he's out of the ring, I'll stick with the guys in the ring. I said, but as long as you got that hard camera going, if this fucker takes a swing at me or something like that, I want it on record because I'm just doing what you guys asked. So, okay, Necro comes out, met him, no problem. Danny, I know, from JAP, no problem. Eddie, the same way. Low-Ki comes out and gives me the fisheye. I'm like, okay, fine. So I did what I said I was going to do. I think I shot a pretty good match. They liked it, and it all worked out. But, you run into people here and there on the indies that you just, you wish they would go on to bigger and better things. And thankfully with, WSU, we had Miss April, who turned out to be AJ Lee, who went to the WWE. Mercedes Martinez was our champ. She went to the WWE, but unfortunately she was just cut, and I hope she winds up in AEW because she was the Joker in the first Battle Royal and got a huge pop. Why they didn't sign her, I don't know. I think Vince just signed her so AEW wouldn't get her and basically hardly used her. And then Jessica Havoc and Haley Hatred had come down from Ohio. Haley disappeared, but Jessica's still in the game. So, I worked with a lot of people that basically went on, to bigger and better things, and some just retired. I mean, Primetime Amy Lee and I were good friends, and she hung it up at age 50 after doing a Fans Bring the Weapons match with Lolo Louis Ramos. So the big pop I had was when they brought Nick Gage out to face Jericho. And that was one guy I never thought I would see on national TV. And I said, how far are they going to let this go? Well, I give Jericho a shitload of credit because he took everything Nick could dish out, and Nick looked great. And I honestly hope that they do bring Nick back. I see Ricky Shane Page on AEW Dark. He's another deathmatch guy. So they got guys in there that can do this, and it's like I don't think they would make it a regular thing because, deathmatch wrestling is a specific genre. But I always enjoyed the stuff, No Madman Pondo, Mr. Insanity, Toby Klein, Necro, met those guys a ton of times. Cinema Wasteland always did a hardcore wrestling hour with Mr. Insanity, Toby Klein. Pondo, run into him on and off, so it's all good. So I know the business is cyclical. It cycles up, cycles down. Well, right now it's up big time, and after that pay-per-view where they brought back Daniel Bryanson, CM Punk, Ruby Riott, I mean, I'm actually excited for wrestling again. I was sort of on the fence because it sort of looked like a glorified indie show. Not that I got any problem with any of the indie shows. But now these guys are big time and they're giving the fans what they want. Kick-ass fucking professional wrestling. No skits, no fucking bullshit. I mean, honestly, when I was in the hospital for my hernia surgery, I stayed overnight. It was a Friday night. SmackDown was on. I watched 45 minutes of this fucking show, and nobody touched anybody. It was all shooting bullshit back and forth and stuff. I'm like, something, fuck this. This is why I can't stand the WWE. I grew up with the WWF when Bruno Sammartino was champ, when Backlund was champ, and when Hogan came in, that was the end of it for me. I sort of came back with the Attitude Era because it was better than WCW. But then, since then, I blew it off. I would watch Impact, Ring of Honor, any indie show I could get or buy DVD-wise because it just wasn't fucking working for me. Now, once again, professional wrestling is working for me, and I'm happier than a pig in shit that some guys I met and some girls I met on their way up have a home in AEW, and again, it's no bullshit. It's fucking professional wrestling. So, yeah, I'm happy about it. I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad guys I know are in the national spotlight. So, yeah, that's where I'm at on wrestling. And I'm sure they're going to get a lot more people. And, right about, they've had it. They got a second show, Rampage. As I'm recording this, it's just coming off their all-out pay-per-view, which basically blew anything prior to that away. And I just hope these guys don't, do anything to jump the shark and just stay doing what they're doing and giving us, credible storylines, good characters, and good fucking work in the ring. And these guys are just fucking great. So, and kudos to MJF because basically I fucking hate you, and you're doing a great fucking job because you made me fucking hate you. So it's great. Other guys I like, that I hadn't seen before. Lance Archer, he's awesome. Good to see Jake the Snake, clean and sober, helping him out. Good to see Arn Anderson with his son there, with Cody and stuff. So, yeah, it's all good, and it's like, it's what the business needed. It needed a shot in the arm to get it away from Vince's bullshit. So, that's our episode for today. So, again, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for tuning in. And above all, get your shots, mask up, and stay safe because we're dealing with morons who just won't fucking do the right thing and put the rest of us in jeopardy. So, again, I thank you, and we'll see you on the flip side.